Question 77. Consider the following statements. According to the Constitution of India, central government has a duty to protect states from internal disturbances. The Constitution of India exempts the states from providing legal counsel to a person being held for preventive detention. According to the Prevention of Terrorism Act 2002, confession of the accused before the police cannot be used as evidence. How many of the above statements are correct? I have this is a very what can I say, diverse question from asking points from various areas. So I have given multiple sources, and two of them are Hindu and one is from The Wire. I will explain why I have given this question links. So let me just go with the article. First one is from Hindu, which was published on March 2022, which is our preparation phase time. So it talks about invoking Article 355 in West Bengal over Birbhum killings. Congress leader right to president. So here in this article it says Article 355 refers to the provision in the Constitution that states that it shall be the duty of the Union to protect every state against external aggression and internal disturbance, and to ensure that the government of every state is carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. So this is Article 355. It was mentioned in the news, and whenever such an article or some concepts from polity appears in newspaper, you should take a special mention of it. You should make notes. You should make notes and give importance to that area when you study polity. So Article 355 was mentioned, and this was what is referred in the question. So, but there is a trick, there is a little confusion here. In the question it says, according to the Constitution of India, the central government has a duty to protect states from internal disturbance. So if you go by the technical wording, it says Union of India has the duty, not central government. So Union has a much wider definition than central government. So if you go purely technical by technical wording that is given in Constitution, this could be wrong. But we have to wait for UPSC to we have to wait to see what UPSC gives as the official answer. So here, though it was Union, one could say this is true in that sense. Yeah, so that is about statement 1. Let's see about statement 2 and 3. The Constitution of India exempts states from providing legal counsel to a person being held for preventive detention. There is nowhere the Constitution exempts states from providing legal counsel to a person being held for preventive detention. Let me just let me go back to the news. So if you see preventive detention, a colonial legacy has the ability to confer arbitrary powers to the state. Supreme Court judgment. It was published on April 2023. Probably this is one reason why a statement about preventive detention was asked in the UPSC prelims. So this is a very important article. It talks about various ways in which states could misuse their power in connected to preventive detention. And so whenever, as I said earlier, when preventive detention is mentioned and there is a issue that is being discussed, you should study when you take polity and study the static portions, like you should be giving importance to that area. So this act of protecting civil liberties is not just saving of rights of individuals in person and the society at large, but it is also an act of preserving our constitutional ethos, which is product of a series of struggles against arbitrary power of British state. So it's saying it is preventive detention laws in India are a colonial legacy and a confer arbitrary power to the states. So yeah, it's not like clearly mentioning whether this statement 2 about anything about statement 2, but yeah, Constitution does not exempt states from providing legal counsel to a person being held for preventive detention. If you remember, if you take and read Polity by Lakshmikant, there are it mentions about various rights the person have in preventive detention. So yeah, statement 2 is wrong. And statement 3 is also wrong. It says confession of the accused before the police cannot be used as evidence. So for this only I have given sorry, I'll just show you. Statement, they said statement 2 is wrong. Statement 3 is also wrong. Confession of the accused before the police cannot be used as evidence, it says, but it's wrong. For this only I have given the third link. So if you see, there was an article that was published in the Wire portal which says undue process, here is what's wrong with Supreme Court's PMLA judgment. So one could ask whether we should be reading a Wire also. So I won't say that, but again, whenever there is some important article that appears in any famous portal, that could come as a question in our exam. So yeah, but yeah, if you see, there is in this article they are talking about TADA, which was the previous Terrorist and Disruptive Activities Act, Prevention Act, TADA, and section 15 of TADA. It says confession recorded by superintendent of police as evidence, thus unsettling a century-old rule barring confession to police officers. So section 15 of TADA is the first one that allowed confession recorded by superintendent of police as evidence, allowed confession. And then late when the law was lapsed, its successor, Prevention of Terrorism Act, brought an ordinance in 2001 and enacted in March 2002, contained section 32, which was similar to section 15 of TADA but exparred the co-accused from its effect. Only co-accused is exempt from this, but yeah, it says Prevention of Terrorism Act also has such a provision. So again, this is how we could answer this, saying this it's false. So if you can definitely read the article if you want. Again, my point is, most of these questions are originating from important news articles that appeared, mostly from Hindu. Sometimes they pick up articles from other sources also. So yeah, if you are a person who goes through such portals, Wire is famous for being critical of the government and always publish articles of that nature. So yeah, you should be aware of such critical points also. You could read. I'm not saying it's the time is, I know the time is limited, so if you skip it, I wouldn't complain. Okay, so yeah, that is question 77. Moving on to question 78.